Sorry, David, just go. Thank you.
Okay, I'll call this meeting to order. It is December 15th, 2025, 1 minute after 3. We have a quorum of the board present. Alex Vincent unexpectedly had to work in his day job today. He called me this morning and he will likely not be joining us. But the rest of us are here, and thank you all. Thank you all for that. Um, we will start with board president comments. And I do have a few things I wanted to talk about today. Um, as you guys know, we can't say much about the Republican National Committee's recent lawsuit against us, but speaking just for myself, um, let me just say a few things about how we maintain our voter rolls. First, everyone on our board would like our voter rolls to be as accurate as possible, and we follow both federal law and state law. Second, the allegation that our county's 2025 voter registration numbers are, quote, impossibly high, unquote, in that they exceed our estimated citizen voting age population, that allegation uses some fuzzy math. That fuzzy math compared our 2025 voter registration numbers with the census population estimates from 2023. A lot happened in between those 2 years, including a presidential election, and comparing data from two different years is like comparing apples to oranges. And we're required by law to make individual decisions about whether someone should be removed from the voter rolls. We cannot remove people from the voter rolls because of group statistics or estimates, and even more so, dubious group statistics and estimates. Finally, we could keep our voter rolls more up to date and remove more registered voters who moved or died if more states would join or rejoin the Electronic Registration Information Center, otherwise known as ERIC, which facilitates the sharing of that information. If a Maryland registered voter registers to vote in one of the 25 ERIC member states or DC, Maryland gets notified by ERIC and we can remove the voter who moved to another state. If more of the 25 non-ERIC states would join or rejoin ERIC, that would help facilitate better sharing of information. We may have more to say in the course of litigation, but I did want to put those items on record. Are there any other board members who wish to make any comments before we proceed? Okay, seeing none, are there any additions or changes to the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we go to disclosures of campaign contributions and attendance at fundraisers. Some of you know that I generally don't attend political fundraisers for candidates on our Montgomery County ballot, but I do frequently attend concerts by Bruce Springsteen and members of his E Street Band. Last week, a member of the E Street Band guitarist Nils Lofgren, who is a Montgomery County native, performed at a 63rd birthday party for Congressman Jamie Raskin, which I attended. My wife paid I believe it was $63 charge for my ticket, and it was well worth it. And for music lovers like myself. So that's not a new policy on my part. It's a continuation of my priorities for putting the E Street Band first. So, are there any other disclosures of campaign contributions or attendance at fundraisers? Okay, public comments. Boris, do we have anyone who has signed up for public comments?
No one signed for public comments this time.
Okay, if you are in our audience and are interested in public comment, if you press the raise hand button, you can still be recognized to comment to the board. If you are in that category, I would appreciate your doing that right now. And seeing none, we will move on. I did have someone at an event within the last few days say to me that they were in the audience for one of our meetings and did not know how to sign up to speak. So I just want to remind people that we do have a sign up on our website. And in addition, at every meeting, I give those who are in the audience, who are not on the panel, the opportunity. I believe that the raise hand button is at the bottom of your screen. If it isn't, please reach out to our staff and we will remedy that situation. But we are always willing to hear from members of the public, and we frequently do. Okay, next on the agenda is the election director's report. Boris.
Thank you. It will be very short. Again, we are outside of the election hype. We are going through a normal processes for the non-election year. Our agenda was published as established by practice by Montgomery County Board of Elections 7 days before, on December 8th, and our materials were shared with the board and published on our website last Thursday, December 11th. When it comes to the voter registration statistics, I will not go in details through the numbers, but numbers are steady from month to month. We are still over 705,000 registered active voters. Changed from the last report, I added one graph which indicates party affiliation changes month to month, otherwise data that's available if anyone would follow our monthly statistics that are published on our website. When it comes to the personnel, very briefly, we are still going through the process of conducting interviews for voter education training specialists. Our initial goal was to wrap up the process in December. It will go through into January. It is something that we cannot speed more than we are. When it comes to temporary positions, we stay the same. 2 individuals are with us. Others join us if needed when we do have a lot of outreach events. When it comes to budget document is shared with the board, is available on our website. No big changes there. The first state quarterly bill is processed, over $500,000 charges there, but that is as expected, everything within budget expectations and projections. When it comes to communication, I would like to share with the board and the public that we continue our practice of sending mass emails to our voters to remind them of possibilities or options that we provide to them in order to review their voter registration records, update them as need be, change the preferences whether to vote by mail or to change to vote in person and similar. In this reporting period, we sent almost 400,000 emails to different groups of voters who are active on our list but who are not on the permanent vote by mail list, inactive voters, and this time we send emails to voters who voted by mail in 2024, but they are not on the permanent vote by mail list. Because the idea is, if they are coming back to be our vote by mail voters again, we would prefer to get their applications sooner rather than later. The reason why we didn't send a single email to anyone who is on the permanent vote by mail list yet is that State Board of Election will in January start removing from the list those voters who signed up but failed to return the vote by mail ballot in 2 consecutive federal elections. That's a provision of the election law that has to be executed. Once the state completes that process, the emails will go to these voters as well.
Boris, could I ask a question about that?
Yeah. Yes.
Does 2 consecutive elections mean 2 different election years, or does it mean the primary and the general in 1 election year?
General.
2 general elections.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
thank you.
My expectation is that we will have around 2,000 to 2,500 voters like that. And we didn't send an emails because we didn't want to create any confusion with multiple messaging coming around the same time. And our plan is to repeat this mass emails exercise sometime in February again, so everyone will be included. The good thing here is that we checked with our TEPS colleagues. The opening rate of our emails is huge. We are around 60%. Even though many people did not act on the emails instructions, for us it's important that they have seen the email, they know it's in their inbox, they know where to find the instructions, how to update their voter registration or their records.
Larry.
Oh, sorry. He answered the question. I was wondering what unique openings were, and he explained it, so we're good.
Oh, okay.
When it comes to voter section activities, you will see that more or less we are still doing the same things that we were doing last month. When it comes to water services, it's all about list maintenance, all about processing records that we receive from the voters directly or from the institutions that provide the data, like the HMH, AOC, Jury Commission, or courts, or Eric, as David mentioned in his opening remarks. Vote by Mail team was out there at outreach events trying to recruit as many as possible volunteers for Canvas, for our nursing home program. And we keep doing candidate filing for the 2026 elections. We shared the list with the board. It's included in the election director's report. I am pretty sure that this list is not accurate today because it was pulled on Wednesday, I believe. So for anyone who wants to see up-to-date candidate filing data, we always advise them to go to the state website, which is included in this report. When it comes to voting system and information technology section, it's a maintenance of election equipment, charging the batteries per schedule, and of course, working on the election resource management system that should help us manage volunteers who sign up to serve as election judges. We still work with our colleagues from TEPS on our website and Web 2.0 redesign project. More about that when we get to the website section of the board meeting. Elections operations section. Election plan has been submitted to the State Board of Elections. I believe our plan is scheduled to be reviewed by the State Board this Thursday. Meeting starts at 1 p.m. I cannot even guess exactly what time will be on the agenda because I believe there are 7 or 8 local boards, and I believe we are number 5 in a queue. When it comes to outreach, recruitment, and training section, we are processing any application that we receive from people interested to serve as election judges. From our outreach events, we do still outreach events as we talk through, but Gilberto will talk more about that at a later point on the agenda of the board meeting. That will be in short the election director's report for this December 15th.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments about Boris's report? Okay. Thank you very much, Boris. Next on the agenda is the board attorney's report. Kevin.
Thank you, David. I do not have anything for open session as reflected by the agenda. We will be having a closed session at the end of our meeting to review pending litigation and to obtain advice from counsel.
Okay. When we get to the end of our agenda, I'll be asking for a motion to that effect. And yes, we are planning to have an executive session after our open session. Any questions for Kevin before that? Okay. Next on the agenda is 2026 election legislation. I asked Boris to make this a fixture of our agenda until I was going to say till the end of legislative session, but probably until the governor finishes signing bills if we're lucky. So anyway, Boris, did you have anything you wanted to report, or did you want me to go ahead and report on last week's hearing?
I believe that's the only item, if you don't mind reporting.
I don't mind at all. Last week we had our hearing at the Montgomery County delegation. There were really two bills of interest, one of which was Delegate Teresa Warman's bill on our behalf that would convert our substitute members to regular members. And I want to thank Delegate Warman for introducing the bill, and Alex and Margie and Larry for excellent testimony on it. We did not get any questions, in part because I think we were very thorough in providing history, providing what the experience of being a substitute is like, providing how similar it is to the experience of the regular members. In any event, there were no questions, and we don't expect any further action until January. My understanding is that the next action would be a committee of the delegation having to consider the legislation, and then the full delegation. And then if the full delegation approves it, it then goes to a committee of the House of Delegates, in all likelihood, the Ways and Means Committee. And then if it passes the Ways and Means Committee, it goes to the floor of the House, and then it goes over to the Senate side, and we start with the Montgomery County Senate delegation over there. The other bill that was of interest, I believe that it is MC 126. That is a similar bill to last year and to several years past to allow Montgomery County to have ranked choice voting for county elections at local option of the county council. And there were a number of witnesses. We did not testify on that bill. There were a number of witnesses both for and against that bill. But in terms of expectations, the bill has passed the Montgomery County delegation multiple times in multiple years, not every year, but it passed last year, and it passed, I don't remember exactly how many years before, but it's passed several times. And thus far, it has not gotten out of the House Ways and Means Committee, and we will see what happens with that. And I don't believe that there were other election-related bills that were on that particular agenda. You all probably know that the legislature is having a special session tomorrow. That is, I'm told, will last a day or two, and will include the election of a Speaker of the House of Delegates, and will include votes on some overrides of gubernatorial vetoes, and will not include anything to do with congressional redistricting. And that is about all that I know about that. Of course, everything that I told you is based on expectations, because legislative bodies do what legislative bodies do. But there seems to be a fair bit of unanimity that is what is to be expected there. And I don't think I have anything else to report on as far as 2026 election legislation. As you guys may know, the legislature doesn't like to do too much in the way of election legislation in election years. And that is very much to our benefit, because it's hard enough to adapt our election systems to whatever they did last year. But if we were, adapting to what they do this year, that would be much more complicated. I will say, with the exception of our bill would be very easy to adapt to. If our substitute members were to get their votes, we could do that with no difficulty whatsoever. So anyway, that's all I have. Does anyone have any questions or comments about legislation? Okay, seeing none, we go to the website update. Boris.
I'll be very brief on this one as well. I believe that we can see the increase in number of visits to our website in the month of November. We almost 3 times up compared to September itself. I believe that as we are getting closer to the elections, this number will go up additionally. For November specifically, maybe to some extent, also emails that we sent out played a role. However, we are still far away from our numbers that are in election season or peak of the election season, but these are good numbers for the months that are still 7 months away from the primary election date. The second thing that I would like to briefly brief the board. At the last board meeting, the board raised certain concerns about the timing of the website project update that is going out throughout the whole county and every agency, including ours. The board's concerns did overlap with the staff concerns, and especially emphasis was on the activities that are coming up in February, end of candidate filing, rollout of our recruitment for election judges, and similar. Especially, again, 120,000 emails will go to the permanent voters on the permanent vote by mail list and similar. We had our regular meetings, a regular conversation with our colleagues from TEPS. We had an additional meeting where both Janet and I attended. We escalated all the concerns that board had and that staff had to TEPS, and we will have a follow-up meeting next week, I believe. Basically with the assurance that TEPS recognizes all the concerns and all the time frame on the election calendar that might be non-movable, let's put it this way, to accommodate delayed changes if there would be any on the TEPS side. So we are keeping an eye on it. We are on a weekly meetings frequency with TEPS, and I believe that if there are decisions to be made to alter any plans or one way or another, they will be made soon, early January, the latest. So I'll be more than happy to keep the board appraised of any developments, not necessarily waiting for the next board meeting, but shooting an email as we learn more going forward.
Yeah, please don't wait for the next
Absolutely.
board meeting for that. And thank you for being on top of this. Any questions for Boris about that? So Boris, you get the sense that they are aware of our needs and that you were going to, of course, continue to keep them aware of our needs?
I think that Janet articulated very nicely last time when she was at the board meeting. The colleague with whom we work on the TEP side is someone who is kind of embedded with us in every election cycle. Is the person who literally gives a hand to manage our website and the flow of information when we go into very, very busy election season. And he's fully aware of our needs because he lived through those needs for the few cycles already. So we have a very good counterpart on TEP side to work with who fully understands our workload and our expectations.
Excellent. Anything else on the web update? Okay, we will move to the outreach update. Dr. Zelaya. Who I guess has to be promoted.
Good afternoon, everyone. Perfect.
Good afternoon, Dr. Z. Please proceed.
Thank you. So the 2025 outreach and engagement is winding down. It's a couple of events this week. Then we'll start picking up again in February. One of the challenges of holding outreaches in January and February, as if you look out the window, is the weather. So we try to keep that at a minimum. It's not that we don't want to go out there. It's just challenging with staffing and definitely don't want people on the road running a risk with the weather as it is. In February of 2026, we will revisit the high schools and both high school and academia when it comes to Washington Adventist, universities of Shady Grove, and also Montgomery colleges and their corresponding campuses. And then in March, we will also engage in election worker campaign where we visit the local neighborhood libraries over the weekends to facilitate individuals to come see us in their neighborhoods. We're always posting on social media. We welcome the community to invite us once again, whether it's a large or small event. We would love to have a table. And if you don't have a table and a chair, we will bring our own. So just contact the office. We're here to serve and have a happy holidays.
I am not a weather expert, Dr. Z, but I would wonder whether, no pun intended, February would have the same features as January, maybe even more so. So I hope you will keep that in mind
Yes,
as you are planning, and obviously no harm in planning things that then get rescheduled if the weather does not cooperate.
most definitely. And that's what gives us the wiggle room. My concern of starting in March and April, in case of competing activities within the academic setting, I didn't want to get into spring because then we're neck deep in training. So we want to allow our individuals who are interested to participate enough time to also register to vote, which is one of the requirements to serve as a poll worker.
Yes, absolutely. I have watched you leverage that well to get our young people to register to vote.
Thank you.
I love that strategy. I'm gonna steal it. You know, it's you ask them to do two things in order to make sure they do one, and then if we get them for two, bonus, right?
It's a
So
win-win. It's a
yes,
win-win.
yes, absolutely. I love it. I love it. Um, Anything else for Dr. Zelaya? Okay. Thank you very much.
My
Much
pleasure.
appreciated. Happy holidays.
Likewise.
Okay. Is there any old business? Is there any new business? Okay. Are there any future action items from today's meeting thus far?
It's just for me to keep the board updated on any website developments. That's my understanding.
Okay. I think that's right. Does anyone have anything else that should be on Boris's list? Okay. Next is approval of the minutes of November 17. I believe the most recent version would be the one from Ami after the one from me. Is everyone familiar with that, or do I need to find you the date and time of that message? No one is responding, so I'm assuming that everybody is okay. Ami, do you want to make a motion?
Sure, I'll move that we adopt the minutes as edited by David and then by me.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, moved by Ami, seconded by Larry. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, it is unanimous with Larry voting for. Larry, is this the first time you have voted?
This is my first vote. Yes.
Okay.
So my testimony that bill paid off. I get the vote
Yeah,
right away.
there you go. What we didn't do is we didn't tell them how rare it was, which and because it is quite rare.
Right.
But we might have to eat our words if we told them how rare it was, and then at our very next meeting, here you are. But you did that very well, Larry. You know, no hesitation.
Right.
You know, we appreciate that. And look forward to the day where it's not an issue, which hopefully is only 6 months away or less. So Anyway, okay. So as I indicated, I'm looking for a volunteer to do the initial review of the minutes of today's meeting. In other words, when these minutes come out, I would like I would like someone other than me to do the initial review of those minutes. Kina, are you volunteering or do you have a question? I can't tell which one.
Volunteering.
Keen, are you volunteering to do the initial review of the December minutes? Okay. Daniel, you have your hand up as well.
Well, I mean, help. I can review after.
Okay. I'll tell you what, since Kina has a faster finger than you do, apparently, or than anyone else for that matter. Let me just say the idea of the initial review, it is not an accident that that our meetings are on Mondays and that we try to get our review done sufficiently in advance. So if you're doing the initial review, it would be very helpful to have your review done by Friday so that when people have time to look at the minutes, presumably at least more time over the weekend without the day jobs interfering for most people on the board. That would be the idea. So the idea would be do the initial review and then others can do it. If anyone wants any suggestions from my reviews, I'm happy to provide it. The biggest thing is that if I am uncertain, if I read something and I say I'm not sure it happened exactly that way, I go to the recording and check it. I just figure that that's easier than asking a colleague, what do you remember? Because they could also remember it differently. And we all could remember a particular conversation differently. But and I try to do that at a minimum, because obviously we're not trying to record everything that happens at the meetings. We have a recording of everything that happens at the meetings, but I am trying to make sure that our minutes are accurate and that will help people who want to review the recording to find what they're looking for. So anyway, thank you, Kina, for volunteering. The December minutes are yours. We'll worry about minutes after that. But I appreciate your volunteering for that. Boris.
Yeah, just a very quick to confirm. Should staff continue the same process, sending minutes
Yes.
initially to
Yes.
the full board? Or
Yes.
just okay,
No.
full board.
No. Full board. If someone else has the time, and the inclination, I want to give them that opportunity. The process remains the same. The only thing I was doing is I was feeling the pressure of all the things that I have to do. As Lisa pointed out to me recently, I've been the minutes reviewer for a very long time, perhaps since I've joined the board. So I appreciate getting the assistance. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Obviously, we all can review the minutes, and we're all responsible for voting on them. And if you see something that you think is not quite right, you definitely should say something. Although in my experience, it's usually more a question of how much detail to provide than it is of, or say something in a slightly different way. So anyway, Larry.
So, but after all that, whatever reviews there are, AMI is the aggregator of the final version, or how do we
No.
keep version control?
In general, the way we keep version control is by checking our emails to put our comments on the last person who commented.
Oh, okay.
We have not had a need for an aggregator thus far. So if we know that Kina is doing the initial review, and let's say that we know that we can figure out the timing once we know when we have our draft. But if we know that we're going to get it at a particular time, we can hopefully the secondary reviews can come after that, and we can just build on each other. That's the hope. If we get into a version control issue, we'll work that out. Thus far, that has not been an issue. We have not had on minutes, at least we have not had crossing comments, etc.
Okay, got it.
So that's
Serial review. That's fine. That's got it.
yeah, and that's because you all are such a you know a unified and considerate group. So as a result, we're not having pitched battles, at least so far, on the minutes. I don't want to jinx it. Daniel.
Well, I mean, I think the practice has been, I mean, for me, I will review the minutes when I get them from Lisa, and then also we'll review again after you've made your edits. And then, so in
Mhm.
other words, all of us in practice are reviewers of the minutes. And I think you said it well, which is we're going to be voting on the minutes anyway, the final, before it's approved. So
Yes,
I think,
you're all responsible for, or I guess technically everyone who votes. Maybe, so but in reality, if a substitute member has a change to the minutes, I want to know what it is, right? I mean, because we don't distinguish, and sorry about the whole voting thing, but we're working on that. But yes, in general, everyone, has the responsibility to review the minutes, preferably to share any suggestions with the rest of us so that we don't all review the same thing and find the same errors, save time for all of our colleagues. I mean, that's the hope. But yes, you are right that we are technically all reviewers of the minutes.
no, the reason why I wanted to highlight that was because, for example, if I saw an inconsistency between Lisa's version and your version, if that's, in terms of change, then I would have brought it up to you to say, hey, David, I mean, you want to check again
Right,
on this
right,
timestamp that is on, or,
right,
on the,
right.
so I just wanted, because I think we
No,
all need to be,
absolutely. None of us are infallible.
there
I
you
mean,
go.
that's kind of the whole theory on the review. I want to make that really clear. I'm not suggesting that that a systemic problem. I'm suggesting that all minutes of every organization are reviewed by their members, and the idea is that we all may remember things differently. We all may think that certain things are important, certain things are not. Again, that's the reason why I have referred to the recordings, is I figured that if I just rely on my memory, mine might be different than yours. And, how do I know that mine is right and yours is wrong? I don't. But if I listen to the recording, then I have, half a chance. It's still possible that we could listen to the same recording and come to different conclusions, but that doesn't happen very often. So anyway, we've spent more time on this than it deserves, but I'm glad that we clarified it, and we're also making it, way more significant that Larry got to vote on it. So that was good.
All right.
So anyway, okay. Thank you, Kina, for volunteering. Thank you, everyone, for that conversation. Our future meetings. We are not meeting in the month, or at least not scheduled to meet in the month of January. I say not scheduled to meet. If events were to warrant meeting in January, we of course would. It's hard to imagine a scenario where that would be the case, but I just wanted to make that clear. We did move our February meeting. Our January and February meetings would fall on federal holidays, so we have to move them anyway. So as it stands now, we are meeting roughly in the midpoint between now and our March meeting. That's the first Monday in February. That is an in-person meeting. That is also going to be, I'll discuss it offline with you guys, but it'll also be our staff appreciation event that day as well. Our March 16th meeting, which is back to our regular schedule, will be a virtual meeting, and that will include our meeting with the candidates and campaigns, as we did before the elections, the prior elections, and then back to our regular schedule for April and May on the third Mondays of each of those months. And June is very much up in the air because we're going to be canvassing in June, and we will see kind of how that plays out, what kind of ballot returns we get, etc. Any questions about our future meeting schedule? Okay, then the chair will entertain a motion for us to go into executive session when we adjourn the public meeting? Ami,
I move that we adjourn the public meeting and go into executive session to discuss pending litigation and get legal advice.
okay, is
Second.
there, okay, moved by Ami, seconded by Daniel. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Larry gets his second vote. And we are adjourned. Kevin, is there Kevin or Boris, is there a link for another
Yeah.
meeting?
Yeah.
This meeting link was shared by Lisa.
Okay, great. Then we will all find it and I'll see you in a couple
Yeah.
minutes. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Okay.